Ladies and gentlemen, Totem Pole Nation, welcome back. Wednesday, the 14th of June. We are live. Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, the champions of the NHL. Oof, another Florida team goes down. What's going on? How are we feeling this morning, Coach?
Well, I just rolled out of bed, and this is what I look like. I'm a machine. I've been sitting back going through tapes. I went through about 15 different tapes trying to find some good footage of the Ulf boys. And I found one good prank phone call, which will be, we're going to put it out there today, probably.
Yeah, I
And
saw a little
it's a classic.
slide of that. It gave me a flashback. I think I saw in the background Mickey's Big Mouth 40 ounce. Talk about back in the day, man.
Yeah.
That was something else. But let's talk about that first podcast that you had, Coach, yesterday. Tell me all about that, man. The credentials of him when he was talking about, the coaching ladder and everything and going up. I mean, this guy was coaching before we were born. Like in the 70s, he was winning championships.
Yeah,
So,
he coached a lot of different places. He coached at
and it was Coach
Slippery
Goldsmith,
Rock.
correct?
Yeah, Fred Goldsmith. He was born in 1944. He went to Western Carolina. He coached at Florida A&M. He was defensive coordinator there in 1974.
Wow.
Then he went to Air Force. Then he went to Slippery Rock for a year. Then he went to Air Force, back to Air Force from 82 to 83. Then he went to Arkansas. Then he went to Rice as the head coach, Duke as the head coach. Then he went back to high school, and he had started off in high school. And then he'd gone to Lenoir Ryan. And he was the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year in 1994. He was the ACC Coach of the Year. That was his first year at Duke. Man. I mean, that's impressive, man.
Heck yeah, first year Bobby Dodd Award, man. That's phenomenal. What a wealth of knowledge. When was the last time he was on the sidelines coaching, or is he still doing it today?
2010 at Lenoir Ryan.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. I'm sure it's still in the blood. I'm sure he's over there probably coaching them up at the Little League. You know what I mean?
Man, that guy,
Once a
he's
coach.
legit.
Yeah, man. Once a coach, always a coach. But yeah. Also, you doubled down yesterday and had a big celebrity on Totem Pole Nation, man. Tell me all about that.
I sat and watched some of the interview from Baby Gronk's dad and Coach Jason Brown and the offensive line trainer. And the disrespect that was coming out of that offensive line trainer's mouth towards another man. Like, wow. Dude, you talk to another dude like that, like that's wild. Like, you must have not been to a fight recently. But he was just being disrespectful to this guy, man. Like, why don't you let him talk and listen to what he's doing? And basically, what he has done is he created a brand through his son, and they branded him Baby Gronk, and how he is a phenom, and he's going to be the next this and that, and he's a D1 player. He goes on D1 visits. He's basically going to skip college and go straight to the NFL. I mean, he's got tattoos. I don't know if they're real tattoos or not. I mean, he was pulling a truck in kindergarten. He's actually looks like a good player, but he's like Tiger Woods' dad. I mean, he's like Lamar. What's his name? LaMelo Ball's dad. He's
Okay,
like him.
LeVar
He's
Ball.
like Lamar Ball. He's like Venus and Serena's dad. He's like Todd Marinovich's dad. He only wants what's best for his son. And the dude, he must be good at it, because this kid, I was hearing about him like a couple years ago, Baby Gronk, like in a stack of money next to his head. Have you heard of, are you familiar with the one and only Baby Gronk?
I am not, but you brought it on here, and it's definitely something worth checking out. It makes me think of childhood prodigies and everything. And man, I tell you what, about that same age, man, there was a kid that ran through the CQL, the Chesterfield Quarterback League, a guy by the name of Michael Wright. And he was a guy that you couldn't stop him. You only just hoped to contain this guy, man. They would give this guy the football and watch out. You were going to try to catch lightning in a bottle with this guy. And that's what it makes me think of, man, just how dynamic of a kid that he was, at that age. But I tell you, in that as well, man, you put a lot of pressure. Sometimes you add pressure, and we'll see what happens with it. Sometimes kids step up to the hype, and then sometimes they'll never live up to it. A lot of times the best guys in Little League at 10 years old, maybe they hit a growth spurt before everybody else, or they're faster than everybody else at a young age, and then it catches up. I just remember some of the guys that were on my own teams, and I was always a taller kid, but some guys were really built, at an early age. And then by the time we got, to high school, those guys that were really built were still, they were the same 5'6" that they were, at 14 as they were at 18 years old. So, but man, that's pretty phenomenal. And for every one guy that's out there trying to help his son, push his son, there's 10 to 20 to 100 fathers that have nothing to do with their sons. And it is what it is. You can't fault the guy for wanting to do what's best for his son. Is he exploiting that? I guess that's up to everybody else and their opinion and whatnot. But, you as a father as well, what did you think about it, Coach? What's your, what were your thoughts afterwards?
I mean,
y'all had a good heart to heart
kid,
and everything.
I mean, I'm just going to show you some video of this kid. You can have reference.
Like, that's the thing. When people say Baby Gronk to me, I'm thinking of the biggest guy on the team.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
This third grader was made in a lab.
This third grader was made in a lab. All right, so
I had to finish, but the media called me a menace. I just said what the man.
Baby Gronk.
I had to finish, but the media called me a menace. I just said what the man, politicians. I'm trying to change the image. You can't blame my past no more. I come from the trenches. Some said I'd never be a superstar, but I know I'm different. I'm a voice, but the system ain't give me a choice. I had to finish, but
Baby Gronk just stole Livy from the Drip King. On his visit to LSU, Baby Gronk rizzed up Livy and they started dating. They are so in love, Baby Gronk got Livy's name tattooed on his arm. Is Baby Gronk the new Drip King, or is Livy just using him for clout? Baby Gronk.
I don't need practice. I'm the coach. I'm already the best football player in America.
Come on, man. You gotta come on with it. There's too many people, kids right now want to be just like you. That social media stuff don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. You gotta be that big dog, talk that talk, George. You gotta stay humble. There's somebody who want it better than you right now. There's somebody who want it better than you. Let's go get it. Let's go take it. You Baby Gronk. Turn them up. Let's get it.
And that's the tattoo you got on your?
Yeah, it's my girl's name.
So a girl name. Man, you tripping, man. I was told don't ever get a girl name on you, man. What's your problem?
Man, it might be the only ref I've ever seen to call it
With
right.
recent
Coach.
news that Taylor Swift and Maddie Healy.
yeah. All right, come on, Baby Gronk. I want to see some Baby Gronk. Baby Gronk has NIL deals, dude. Baby
I want to see
Gronk.
I want to see some blocking. When you say Gronk, Coach, when you say Gronk to me, I'm talking about a guy that blocks like offensive line.
This 8-year-old is richer than you. Baby Gronk is one of the best NFL prospects in the country and has made over $50,000 in brand deals. He already has offers from Alabama, LSU, and Texas. He is also insanely
chance.
strong. His max squat
That
is
is really loud,
500
Coach.
pounds. That's more than most NFL players.
That's
When
really
he's not on
loud,
the football field, he's on the lacrosse field, lighting players up. Do you think Baby Gronk?
Oh, that was a good shot there on the cross. Well, hey, man, he's on a good path, it looks like, at least.
Oh, where will it be? Saban? Oh,
Bobby Boucher, I like the jersey.
Tigers? LSU? Or will it be?
What, you gonna put every hat on?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shake his head.
I don't blame him, dude.
You really want to 1v1 me? Yeah. You can't shake me.
On 3rd down and 5, pressure. Stays
Bruh.
on his feet. Oh my God!
I mean, yeah, dude, it's like a
You really
joke,
want-
dude. I mean,
Baby Gronk is breaking the internet. Madison Miguel, aka Baby Gronk, is only 9 years old, but that's right, he's already committed to Oregon. Now, you're probably thinking, how does a 9-year-old not only receive one offer, but 100 D1 offers? If you don't believe me, watch these highlights.
Niggas snitch the cut time. 21. We the Fox 5 gang. Niggas getting wet, snitching on man. Facts. Back it up, back it up. 2, 2, 3.
it's right there.
Baby Gronk is breaking the internet. Madison.
I shot my first NBA 3. I shot my
Missed it.
Let's go, Atlanta.
So, I mean,
Whose feed is that?
huh?
Whose feed was that from? The Totem Pole Nation feed?
No, it was just where I Googled Baby Gronk. And I mean, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Was Baby Gronk good before his dad created him into a social media influencer? I mean, so what if the kid never plays football? I mean, does he not want to be a YouTuber? Is he the only kid in America that doesn't want to be a YouTuber or an influencer or a TikToker? I mean, he already is a TikToker. I mean, he's going to be known as Baby Gronk the rest of his life. They're going to have to do a major rebranding, but everybody's throwing hate on the dad, so we embraced him with open arms. The enemy of our enemy is our friend. So thank you, Baby Gronk. Thank you, Baby Gronk's dad, for becoming a part of Totem Pole Nation.
You know, and that's – go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
It's funny because, you know, the life lesson of today is, you know, don't limit how awesome you can be. And
Yeah.
I think that's the direction that they're going with this guy. And, you know, it's the people that watch and the people that, you know, subscribe and like it. Hey, man, y'all are into it as well. So must be doing something right. If he's getting offers like this, don't be shocked to start seeing new people come out.
I mean, do you really think he has 100 D1 offers? I mean, he doesn't. He doesn't have any offers. He said Arizona offered him, but I mean, dude, his dad even admits it. It's all a hustle. He said we're content creators. Just the same people that are criticizing him do the same exact thing. You know, they create an illusion that they're big time or they're, you know, these Pat McAfee. I mean, when did he become the end all be all? Will Compton? Like, I know y'all guys played in the NFL, much respect, but like, when did y'all become the guru of sports?
Right.
Was it because of the internet? Was it because of the same thing Baby Gronk is doing and Baby Gronk's dad? I mean, would there have been a Tiger Woods without Earl Woods? Probably not.
Probably not.
So, I mean, even Sarah Blake Cheek, I mean, the queen of the SEA, she has received an immense amount of hate from people. But we embraced her with open arms, and look at the friendship and the partnership that has been developed between Saint Pete Rejuvenate and Sarah Blake Cheek. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man, she's crushing it. Super proud of her. Just doing amazing things overall. You know what I mean? And absolutely, when you have somebody of her caliber that will co-sign, man, it's just it's a great thing. And love what we're doing. You know, just trying to get better. Just trying to get better on a daily basis, just a little bit better. It's the easiest way. You know, you can't change every single thing in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't torn down in a day either, Coach. But yeah, man, it's
All
something
roads lead
else.
to Rome.
That's it. That's it. So who do you got coming on? You got a big podcast today as well. Am I correct? Huge.
We got two. We got Jim Cavanaugh, Virginia Tech, North Carolina.
One of the greatest recruiters of all time.
Yes. Then we got Coach Shockley from Cheetah. I can't pronounce it. Baptist in Texas, an O-line coach.
Oh, man,
Bill Best got us. So man, it's gonna be a big day. We're excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to see what happens to Baby Gronk for the rest of the day. You know, will he end up on Fox News? I don't know. And Baby Gronk's dad. Can you understand why people are outraged?
I mean, this whole social media thing is a whole animal itself. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, I could see why. Yeah, I could see why. I could see why. You know, people should respect it and let them live their life and do their thing. Yeah, you can have an opinion on it, but hey, man, we're all human at the end of the day. You know, if we all thought alike, looked alike, talked alike, life would be pretty boring. So the guy wants to bring some excitement into his life. He wants, you know, the best for his son. And hey, man, if his son backs it up on the field, the guy's a genius, right? Ain't nothing better in the world than to say, what, Coach? I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what their end game is to say that. I told you so. But yeah, man, when you talk about Baby Gronk, you know, I just when I think Gronk in general, you know, you think of all the elite level tight ends, but the thing that he possesses, that he brings to the table, that makes me have him in that tip of the top, is how the guy blocks. He blocks like an offensive lineman. That's the difference between a guy like him and a guy that's big and fast and just can run really good routes, but he's a big wide receiver. And I'm talking about Travis Kelce, which I got mad respect for him. But if you gotta pound the rock, you're wanting to run behind the Gronk. You're not going to be pounding the rock behind him. You know, that's what makes a total tight end. And yeah, like Gronk could have done it back in the 80s. Every year he could have been in there and been fine, as where others might have just been wide receivers in those decades. But yeah, man, that's good stuff, man. Coach Cavanaugh, man, he's like Mr. DMV. Tell me all the places he's the only coach, I believe you said, that was at Maryland, both Virginias, both Carolinas. Did he ever go to South Carolina?
No, I don't believe
Never
so.
South Carolina. Okay.
Maryland,
NC
UVA,
State,
Virginia Tech, North Carolina State, and University of North Carolina.
Wow. Have you ever met him in person?
Yeah, Coach Cavanaugh, he used to recruit our school. Yeah.
Cool, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, so he's somebody I know. So we should have good chemistry. You know, sometimes it's hard when you're talking to somebody you don't know. Like, I didn't know Fred Goldsmith, but you know, one thing we really shared in common was a love for the greats. Like, he told a great story about meeting Joe Paterno when he was a high school coach. And he was a coach down in Florida, and he got the opportunity to be the like the chauffeur for Joe Paterno. Oh, wow. And Joe Paterno let him come and run the scout team. And he talked about meeting Woody Hayes in an airport. He talked about meeting Bear Bryant. So it kind of reminded me of Squared Circle Maniacs. You know, some of the best podcasts that we have done, it's where the coach or the guest shares that love. Just like if you haven't checked it out, go watch Squared Circle Maniacs with the Playboy.
Bobby Starr.
Bobby Starr.
Yeah, man, that was
those guys love it. They share a love for the game, for the sport, for the entertainment. And
yes,
that's the
absolutely.
best, man.
Yes, and speaking on that, I got to watch a little bit last night of Dark Side of the Ring. They were talking about the Florida territory, and it was phenomenal. Mike and Eddie Graham, who, the wrestling world wouldn't be the same without those guys. Those are guys that, were the first ones to, put Dusty Rhodes out there and to create some of the rivalries and everything. But yeah, it was a great show last night. If you guys
is that a podcast?
No, sir. It's every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. They have that on Dark Side of the Ring. I believe it's on Vice TV, where they go an hour. I believe the first one was based on Brian Christopher and Sonny. She was his valet. And then the second one was on Magnum TA, Terry Allen, who suffered a brutal.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But
does he live in Virginia?
I'm not sure about that, but he was originally, a Virginia Beach and Norfolk resident, and his story was just phenomenal because he worked as a bouncer and everything, and he had a guy, Buzz Sawyer, kind of hook up with me and we'll get this happening. We'll get you a wrestling license, and yeah, it's gonna cost $10,000. And yeah, somehow his family got the money to get him that $10,000 wrestling license, which is funny because they said back in the day, like really to have a license to wrestle, it was like $20 to $25. So he kind of sold him and his folks on a bill of goods. And yeah, man, it came to where he even went to dude's house, knocked on his door, like, hey, man, you remember me? And he was like, oh, yeah, I do. And instead of him getting that, $10,000 wrestling lesson and all that stuff, they had a 2-hour wrestling lesson. And then after that, that's when he kind of just did his thing. But yeah, man, it's just cool. Just the whole transition.
Did he ever get his money back?
No, he did not. Yep. But Buzz Sawyer did train him, but it was just that 1-2-hour session. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing about it is Buzz Sawyer was phenomenal, but, Magnum TA took it to a whole nother level, in the 80s, that 84, 85.
I mean, dude,
right around that time, dude.
100,000 a day.
Oh, dude, it would have been a ton of money. But yeah, man, it just kind of goes through how, back then, Magnum PI was the deal. He had the stash and everything. He had the cash, the ladies, and that's kind of what Magnum TA was, man. He had the body, he had the look, and they went through the whole feud with Nikita and Dusty. And when he got in the accident, and it was at the Crockett Memorial Tournament, that he finally showed up after 2 years, after his horrific wreck. And he showed up and gave those guys big hugs in front of everybody. And even Nikita said he was dialed into the moment, that he was legit, crying happy tears for Magnum. But it was really awesome, man, because, back then it was just so, it was just so important to, to keep what they see away from everybody else, like to keep how it looks, to keep kayfabe, you know what I mean? To keep the bad guys away from the good guys. That they had to actually sneak some of the 4 horsemen in there just so they could give him props and tell them how much they cared about him and loved him, because that hospital, man, they said they had phone calls like crazy. They had over 80,000 people calling you know, just checking on him and his well-being, because he got in a terrible car accident, you know, a wet night, and he had a souped up car, and, you know, he just hit a big water, you know, big thing of water, and just hydroplaned. And, you know, crazy thing about it too is that his wife was actually following him, you know, as the car was being towed. He was in the ambulance. She was following the car, and she was just like, it looked like a crushed up beer can. Yeah. But yeah, man, good story. And then last night was based on the Grams and the whole territory, you know, here in Florida, which is just legendary. And, you know, so many amazing guys in the business, you know, came through Florida or have Florida stories and everything. And they had some great guys on there, man. They had Brian Blair on there, Kevin Sullivan, man. It was really cool to see those guys and hear their side of their story, and just their love for the Grams and, you know, Florida Championship Wrestling. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you love the business. You love wrestling. If you could have done it, would you have became a pro wrestler?
You know, I don't think so, man. I just think that you know, my body, my mindset, and I wouldn't have been ready for that.
But I'm saying, if
I
you
wouldn't have been ready for that lifestyle.
If you could have done it, would you have?
I don't think I'd be around right now if I did, man. You know, I'd kind of have an addictive personality myself, and, you know.
So you wouldn't trade it?
No. I just see how
trade it.
I would not, man. I see how those guys move, you know, when the spotlight is not on them, and I wouldn't want that. I just wouldn't. You know, it's important to me to be able to grab my granddaughters and pick them up in the air and throw them up in the air and catch them. You know what I mean? That's what it really means to me. Like, that's what brings, you know, just unbelievable, undeniable joy to my heart, to be able to, you know, grab my grandkids, hold them, and they know that, man, their pawpaw is strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes me think of Baby Gronk. And
yeah, could be, man.
You know, Baby Gronk's dad. If Baby Gronk's dad had the opportunity for his son to live that life, would he be willing to do it? And what would be the repercussions? You know, would he be willing to trade in, you know, being a pro athlete, being a YouTuber for the price, you know, that it pays? Good question.
That is a good question.
Good question. Junior Seau. Junior Seau. One of the most loved NFL football players, one of the most loved Polynesian football players. I mean, if he could have done it all over again, you know, would he have played? I mean, this dude was, he was getting up like this. He'd stay in the game.
Yeah.
Man.
That's
that
just
is
what
the
it was,
price
man.
that you pay. It's sad, man.
Yeah, man. Toughness was
the dark side of the ring.
Yeah. Yep. Amen to that. But yeah, man, I'd give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Cultivate Wellness. If you're anywhere in the area, go check those guys out. My amazing cousin, Julia, she works over there on the Pike. Go see her. Tell her what's wrong with you. She'll get you squared away. And check out their website, man. Their website's got everything you need. They can ship it right to you. You're in good hands with that. And another huge shout out to Saint Pete Rejuvenate. Click on our website. You'll go right to probably have a pop-up, you know, trying to see if you want to do the IV hydration. And it's just an amazing thing this time of year, man. I mean, we're hitting, you know, in the 90s for a good 7-8 hours a day down here now. So it's hot, it's scorching, and sometimes you just are not getting enough hydration to keep on, you know, performing well outside or inside. But yeah, give us a shout. We'll hook you up. But yeah, thank you, TT Heidi. I see you on here. We love you, and yeah, that is a tough sport, vicious on the body. I wouldn't want to have to be walking around like those ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, but we love them. And yeah, Totem Pole Nation, we love you guys too. Check out later on, and definitely buy some merch. We have merch available. And yeah, if you see us on Facebook or if you see us on Twitter or Instagram, man, give us a like, give us a follow, give us some questions, give us some answers, man. If there's a superstar that you know that nobody's talking about or anything like that, man, we want to put them on the platform. We want to talk to them. We want to hear all about it. We want to see how we can help out if possible, because that's what it's all about. Isn't that right, Coach?
Yes.
Tell them what your motto is. After 44 years on this great, beautiful earth, what do you tell your guys? What are the 3 things that we are trying to do here?
1, we want to change lives, help others. 2, we want to build champions for life. Well, 2, we want to help others get to the next level. Then 3, we want to build champions for life. I can't remember more than 3 things. I can't even remember 3. 1, we want to change lives. 2, help get others to the next level. 3, build champions for life. You think I would know my own motto?
Hey, man. Well said.
Right out of the bed, I was hugging the pillow. Coach Bald called. I was up at night with the VCR, and Coach Bald, the tape that didn't work, I actually had to unscrew it, take the top off the VHS, and there was a plastic piece that was stuck down in the reel from the other reel that was broke off that was preventing it from moving. So I had to do it was kind of like, remember that game when you were a kid? You had to go in there and it would buzz, like when you get the body part out. Operation.
Operation.
I had to perform an operation and get that plastic part out. But we have footage of us, and there's only one real good prank call. Well, there's a second one that a unnamed person did that it's okay. But there is one that, I mean, I was very happy with. And I'm glad that was on video. I went through about 30. And there's more of these videos. Where are the other videos at?
Oh, yeah. They're locked away in a trailer out in the sticks. Out yonder. Yep. So pretty good stuff. But anything else you want to close with, Coach? You all good? Or
hey, man, we love you, Totem Pole Nation. We are the low man on the totem pole. And
when is the next podcast? Today, right?
Today.
What time?
I think at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then we got 3 p.m. Eastern time. O-line Coach Shockley.
Just stick around, guys. We'll be back. All right. Thank you, Totem Pole Nation. We love you guys. To the next episode.